Welcome online, ladies and gentlemen. As you enter the room, type in where you're watching us from. We're just setting up for today. Thank you, Phoebe, for managing the door. All right, we are live streaming. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, as you log into the room, do us a favor, type in where you're watching us from as you come in around the world. We're in 74 countries, which we love to hear where everyone's from. This is going to give you a quick timer just to give you an opportunity to get anyone online that may not be here yet. Alrighty, welcome online, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't speak fluent English today, if you're here in the Zoom room live, and if you're looking at playback on YouTube, you will have closed captions you can read along with. Have a quick listen to this.
Por favor, vaya a la parte inferior de la pantalla en Zoom o YouTube y haga clic en subtítulos para leer en español.
Kérlek menj a képernyő aljára, a Zoomon vagy a YouTube-on, a Closed Caption részre, és ott el tudod olvasni magyarul a feliratot.
Silakan klik di layar bawah pada Zoom atau YouTube dan klik caption untuk membaca dalam bahasa Indonesia.
Pour les sous-titres en français, veuillez cliquer au bas de votre écran Zoom ou YouTube sur CC ou Closed Captions.
Zoom または YouTube の画面の下部に移動し、字幕をクリックして日本語で読んでください。
請到屏幕底部點閱隱藏字幕以閱讀中文。
Παρακαλώ πηγαίνετε στο κάτω μέρος της οθόνης, στο Zoom ή στο YouTube και κάντε κλικ στους υπότιτλους για να τα διαβάσετε στα ελληνικά.
請到屏幕底部點擊隱藏字幕以閱讀中文.
אנא עברו לתחתית המסך בזום וביוטיוב ולחצו על תרגום לכתוביות בעברית.
Proszę zejść na dół ekranu na Zoomie lub YouTubie i kliknąć napisy, żeby przeczytać po polsku.
Beautiful. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome online for today's presentation. Michael Firth here, if you haven't met me before, one of the founding field advisory board members and Crowns with Neumi, and it's my pleasure to be your presenter today. Generally, it is one of our diamonds around the world in one of the countries who does this official presentation every week, but I didn't plan ahead. I've just returned from being overseas on the Diamond Retreat in Rome and various countries in the Mediterranean, and I forgot to plan someone for today. So I'm just saying out loud right now, you're going to have a fantastic presentation today. Having said that, we are still looking for some more presenters in English. So if that's you, we would love for you to step up and be one of our diamond or 3-star presenters. With that in mind today, I'm going to hop on and get the presentation underway. Before I do though, I don't know about you, but I generally hop on a presentation like this and I think the person who's presenting, how do I know they know their topic? Where do they fit in? So a quick background for you before we start with Neumi. How did Neumi begin? Well, 8 years ago, my beautiful friend Steve Scott, who I'd met researching glutathione in a previous organization, we had a chat and I realized he was looking for investors for this scientific breakthrough. So I helped him find the biggest investor other than himself to get it off the ground. And then about 4 years ago, we launched into the home-based business network marketing model. And now we are the talk of the town for everyone across the industry, especially when it comes to glutathione and nano delivery. So with that in mind, we're going to get the presentation underway. So who is Neumi? We're the trailblazers. We're the innovators dedicated to revolutionizing health and wellness with our cutting-edge technology, which is called Hydrostat Molecular Encapsulation Delivery System. And you're going to hear a lot about Hydrostat today because there isn't anything else in the world that can do what this does. So firstly, they say if you want to be successful in business, find a problem and fix it. Now, the first problem is poor absorption rates. And it's a clinical fact that 90% of oral supplements are not fully absorbed by the body. And we all know we take vitamins. Sometimes we go to the toilet and there's this iridescent color. That's because everyone thinks straight through like a sieve. So this means only a fraction of the ingredients get to where they need to be. And what happens is a lot of companies will look to boost the ingredients, hoping the more milligrams equals the more that gets through the system. And that's not often the case. So we solve that problem with Hydrostat, where we actually deliver nutrients within 30 seconds into the bloodstream and 70 seconds into the cells. So what are the three things that make us uniquely different that no one really can come close to competing to? Firstly is cell size. So you see here that Neumi's molecular ingredients are between 10 and 100 millimicrons. So that is nanometers. Now, just to put it in context, I'll take the slide down. If I pluck out a human hair, which I do all the time, right? One, you can't even see it on the screen. That is 100,000 nanometers. So if you get down to say 30 nanometers, you can penetrate the blood-brain barrier. Things like liposomal technology, they're bigger than that, so they don't. And then if you get down to say 10 nanometers, you can penetrate a human cell. You're looking at the only thing that does in the market. So here's ours, there's theirs. So direct access is a big game changer. Now, the second thing is surface area. So see that on the right, that little diagram? See how it's clicking and touching, and then it shows the difference when you nano size. So a cell can only absorb the section of the molecule it can touch, whereas if we nano size with our hydrostat process, we get 200 times greater surface contact, amplifying the results. The third thing is we use ultra purified water molecules to deliver. Now, I mentioned liposomal earlier. In its day, one of the greatest technologies, now a bit outdated because of what we have here, which is more effective, but they use lipids or fats to transport. Now, lipids are fats and fats attract toxins. Ultra purified water molecules, purer than a hospital IV in hydrostat, is a much purer way of delivering. So they're the three things that we have that nobody else has that makes our products more effective. In fact, I spent time with one of our medical advisory board in Greece, and he is a genetic expert, and he said, as a scientist, no product in nutrition has ever received the same results that I'm seeing with this product. So that's a big statement. So now that we're able to get the product to the cells like nobody else, let's talk about the power of one ingredient being glutathione. Now, if you don't know that word, glutathione is the protector and detoxifier of all your cells. It's the key to life, health, performance, protection, and longevity of every human cell. And it's the only antioxidant that can recycle itself and make more other ingredients more effective as well, like vitamin C and D. Now, these figures are quite outdated. It says 188,000 studies on PubMed compared with vitamin C. I got involved in the glutathione supplementation world 18 years ago. When I first got involved, I can tell you that there was only a tiny amount of studies on glutathione, and there was a similar amount that you see right there for vitamin C. Today, there's 195,000 studies on glutathione since this screen only in October last year. It's crazy. So it keeps growing and growing and growing. So what do doctors have to say? Well, Mehmet Oz, you've seen, is in the current administration over there in the US, and he says it's the most powerful antioxidant you've never heard of. One of the keys to fighting off diseases you fear the most. It's called glutathione. Write it down. Dr. David Katz, who's director of Yale University's Prevention Research Center, says if you're chronically run down, if you're chronically fatigued, if your body's not firing on all cylinders, low glutathione is probably the cause and the effect. So as you age, you'll see your glutathione levels decrease longer as you're alive. When you're about 18 to 20, they're optimal levels, and then they tend to decrease 10 to 12% per decade. Now, continuous attacks on your cells by the invasion of toxins, heavy metals, exposure to radiation, free radicals, they cause damage and expedite the aging process. So any extra things like injuries or infectious diseases, those sorts of things can traumatize the cells more and deplete them even further. In fact, if you see the two lines, this one here going up, which is oxidative stress, you notice that post 50, and I can say this at 57, suddenly things go a bit weird, right? And so your glutathione levels, when they're optimal, keep oxidative stress low. Oxidative stress is linked to 70 to 80 different diseases. Now, I'm not suggesting for 1 second that our product treats, cures, or prevents any disease. It doesn't. But when your glutathione levels are quite high, the body can do what it couldn't do if the levels were lower. For example, here is some examples of low glutathione levels. Maybe you can relate. Weakened immune system, physical, mental fatigue, muscle weakness and aches, inflammation, premature aging and disease, dull and dry skin, grey hair and balding, brain fog, headaches, digestive issues, allergies, weight gain. They're all signs of low glutathione if you have not looked into supplementing. What are the signs of high levels of glutathione? And who wouldn't want these? Boosted immune system, sustained mental and physical energy. I'm interviewing tomorrow a world champion gold medalist who's hit every single gold medal since she got into her sport, and she puts a lot of her success now down to our amazing products. Optimal athletic performance, balanced inflammation, delayed aging and disease, radiant skin, decreased graying and balding, balanced digestion, and of course, reduced allergic reactions and weight management. So who would want all those? So now let's talk about our product breakthrough, because we've taken that ingredient, which is a proven ingredient in so many ways scientifically, but we've taken other ingredients and we amplify their results and deliver them like never before. As I mentioned earlier, our products are not designed to treat, cure, and prevent any disease. You won't hear a disease or a medical condition come out of the mouth of a Neumi member that we don't do that. But glutathione does decrease with age, and environmental toxins and so forth can have an impact, leaving no practical way to get it in the cells. Did you know if you take glutathione orally, it gets destroyed by the digestive process? If you take cysteine, a building block of that, it gets destroyed by the digestive process. So we've made a product where we can deliver it with 30 seconds straight into your bloodstream. So we use not just glutathione, but also cysteine, which continues to produce glutathione for many, many, many hours afterwards, and curcumin and vitamin C, which also help it do its job better. So what are the results you see? You see an immune system boost, joint support, clean and sustained energy, rapid recovery, and of course, all the things you would experience when your glutathione levels were at their peak. What's another problem? Skincare. I have a friend who's a skincare educator. She says 0.03% of the ingredients ladies put on their skin gets through the first layer because the particles are too big. Whereas when you can nanosize like ours, we take things like collagen, glutathione, hyaluronic acid, curcumin, all these things to help with your skin, according to one of the most foremost dermatologists in the US. She was the one who recommended the formula. And it helps to reduce pore size, smooth skin texture, lifts and firms the skin, brightens and evens the tone, reduces fine lines and wrinkles appearance, and fights skin aging pollutants. What's another problem? Well, those energy drinks you can see kids drink. Oh my God, you see so many kids drinking these toxic things for, they think they're getting energy, but they're also producing oxidative stress in the body on an amplified rate. So we invented a product called Neuro, again, using hydrostat to deliver the ingredients, proven ingredients that are already there, like arginine, magnesium gluconate, L-theanine. Believe it or not, caffeine in a certain dose is actually powerful for the brain. So we see this product is now endorsed by the American Brain Council for enhanced memory, improved mood, increased focus, rapid energy, and heightened cognitive performance. Again, tomorrow, listen to the world champion gold medalist about what she says with this product as well. And then another problem is environmental disruptors having a huge impact on women's health. So we invented a product which has a double-blind placebo-controlled test, which is using botanicals, and it is spectacular results. Helps alleviate bloating, cramps, PMS, supports healthy hormones function, helps with hot flashes and night sweats, and enhances mood and overall well-being. And this product is available particularly just in Canada and the US markets at the present. Then healthy hair is another one. And this is a brand new product we just invented, and I've been using it. And when I show you my photos after 14 days, you're going to be gobsmacked like my barber was. But basically, Neumi Hair is a revolutionary product for full and lush leave-in hair therapy. And of course, using the ingredient nanosize process of hydrostat that I said no one else has access to, that means we can profoundly penetrate the scalp, revitalizing the scalp, promoting healthier, more vibrant hair. And what it does is hair strengthening, scalp health, and moisturize and smooth, heat protection, increased hair density. Now I'm going to show you a heap of people with all the different products, feedback from all different age groups. And have a look at this. This is Lachlan. I know this guy quite well because I birthed him. Actually, his mother did, but I had something to do with it. So in week 3, he is a powerlifter. He's a personal trainer and gym manager. I'm so proud of him. And he said within 3 weeks, he was hitting personal bests out from a competition. By week 4, he did his most powerful lift at the time of 270 kilograms for 2 reps of deadlift after the first time ever, and of course continued to get better after that. So he's quite young. This is Danae. She is also only in her 30s, a mother of 3, and she said as soon as she started using NutraSwish, she saw amazing energy, and then started to use the Hers product, and she had her mood swings, bloating, and breast tenderness all disappear. Let's talk about sports. This is a gentleman my age, Greg, 58. I think he logged in just earlier. He's also a pool constructor, and he used to do mountain bike racing in his 20s and be just literally spent at the end of half a day. Now, at 58, he's doing whole day events and loving it. So endurance. Let's talk about brain health. Jean from Hawaii, 55-year-old natural health skincare specialist. She says, Neuro is a noticeable cognitive focus, clarity, memory, and energy boosting. Get a ton of stuff done, Swish, that you won't go a day without. And that's a mouthful. And of course, she says anyone who knows her has, says a bit of a memory deficit, an attention span problem. And of course, this has made her a lot more focused as well. This is Keith, 61. He's actually been suffering with discomfort in his neck and shoulder from an injury for quite some time. And within 48 hours of using the product, saw amazing results. Let's talk about skin. This is some before and afters. My skin care training expert who trains internationally is the first person who took this photograph as one of her clients. And you can see that Elaine swears she didn't lose weight, but the collagen tightened the neck, and you can see that in the photo. Also, the brightness of the skin has changed, as you can see, and you look around the lips. That's just 4 weeks. But all skin types. This is Linda from Ambon in Indonesia. Her before and after, you can see the smoothness in the skin. It was dull and rough before, but now you can see that it's a lot more clear. It's amazing. And again, all skin types. This lady's from Nigeria in her 80s. 3 to 4 times each day for 4 weeks she sprayed, and the results are amazing. And then this lady here, I love this because it's talking about the turkey necks that we look at, and I was getting one too. I started spraying, I'm not kidding, while leaving a bottle on the desk here and spraying it like 5 or 6 times a day, and I literally saw it tighten up within about 3 weeks myself. And this is Sherry. She was the very first person we tested the product on back when I got the investors' assistance for getting this thing off the ground. And wouldn't you agree, she looks like her own younger sister. She's 62. She is literally a perfect example of health and wellness. Now, we brought out a new hair product recently, and Rick says, I am so happy to have been invited to participate in the trial for this, given the amazing results you can see on the screen. If I showed you my 14 days, you're going to be blown away. It's like that and better. And this is another one as well. Jamie from Louisiana saying after 5 months, she's finally able to wear her shoulder length hair again and put it in a ponytail. So that's had a huge impact on her self-esteem and confidence after just 5 months. And finally, if you're a lady who's got, unmanageable hair as well, this happens to be Sherry, who was our poster girl for the very first user of the Neumi skin. And you can see here, she feels more confident. The hair speaks for itself. You wouldn't believe she's in her 60s. Look at that hair. It's crazy. So if you want to see those and more, the official Neumi Facebook group is Neumi New You. If you go search that now and you then answer a couple of questions, they're compulsory to get into the group, you'll be able to see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of testimonials from elite athletes, gold medalists, world champions, everyday mums and dads, people who are getting better results in their skin, you name it, absolutely everything, better hair, the works, and that's the place to go. So let's talk about the vision that got this thing off the ground. I mentioned that Steve Scott had become a great friend of mine, and Steve, if you don't know him, was behind the Total Gym with Christy Brinkley and Chuck Norris on television. Pretty much any Hollywood star you ever seen on television selling something was part of Steve working with them, launching breakthrough products. And so when Steve discovered glutathione 18 years ago, he brought out one of the very first breakthroughs, which was great in its time. Then it got outdated, and then he came out with this amazing technology we have today, which is exclusive. And he said he came out of retirement because this is the biggest breakthrough he had in his entire career. He then brought on Aaron Rennett, who's a great friend of mine these days, and Aaron is one of the most field-driven executives I've ever known. Had a great call with him yesterday, listening to everything the field wants to do, which is fantastic. So they do listen. And finally, we do have a scientific and medical advisory board like you've never seen. If you go to our neumi.com and then click on Meet the Team and click on Medical Advisory Board, there are Stanford heart transplant surgeons, there are Mayo Clinic scientists, there's a genetic expert scientist I was talking about. Every one of them say they have used pills, patches, potions, lotions, liposomals, the works, and nothing has given them the same results that they're seeing with our delivery method, amplifying the results of all the ingredients. So let's talk about execution. Steve was one of the biggest infomercial giants in the world. He could have gone to television and spent millions to get the word out, but instead we chose to use the best form of advertising on demand, word of mouth, which is the network marketing, home-based business, multi-level marketing industry. It's twice my age. I'm 57. I certainly don't feel it or look it. I know that, but that's because I've been supplementing with glutathione for 18 years, guys. So here's a tip. Start now. It's never too late. Now, when we started this company, we saw that COVID-19 had kicked in, and since then, the industry boomed. Why? People were now looking for income sources because they felt that their normal income source was no longer secure as they thought. During that same period, we went into 74 countries with 200,000 members worldwide, And we have all sorts of things like free membership perks you get without even paying a membership fee. We don't believe in membership fees, field-driven philosophy, and every tool you could imagine to use build your business. So when you're watching this, you might be in one of a few camps. Maybe you just want to get your money back. I want to be able to get my product for free. That's easy. I'll show you how to do that real quick. Maybe you want some residual income so you can add to your income. Maybe pay off the mortgage quicker, put the kids in a nicer school, travel maybe. I've just come back, and I'm not saying this to brag, but thanks to Neumi, this was about the 15th country in 4 years that my beautiful wife got to experience. And I'd never been to Europe myself at all as an Aussie. And it was the first time I did. And it was all thanks to Neumi. So maybe travel's what you want, or maybe you want to build a legacy asset. And that's where my interest lay, which was building something that I can hand on to the kids. Whatever you want to do, they're all available. Now, I want to say before I get into it that it's important to note that you need to refer to the compensation plan detailed version for full details. I'm just going to touch on the treetop of everything today. But just know that just because one person hits a massive income real quick doesn't mean the next one will, because market conditions can vary, sales skills can vary, commitment, effort, everything you do from person to person will be different, and that's going to determine your outcome as well. So let's talk about the compensation plan. Firstly, I want to tell you this. In weekly commissions, we pay 43 cents in the dollar. If you go to the Business for Home website, businessforhome.org, type in pretty much every company in the industry, they're paying between 24 cents in the dollar up to, on average, 38 cents in the dollar. They'll disguise that in something called the PV-BV ratio, but that's what they're actually paying, generally 38 cents in the dollar. We are paying in total with the monthly and the weekly commissions 53 cents in the dollar every month as a base level. That does not include the diamond retreats, the incentive trips, extra promotions. They're on top of that. So most companies are including all of those bells and whistles in the figure you're getting, which is on average on most companies 38 cents in the dollar. So we're paying way more than anybody else. Now, in the weekly commissions, how does it work? Anyone you personally introduce, this is an industry term, anyone you sponsor, anyone you introduce, you'll get 25% on anything that they purchase. But then the power in this model is, who do they know you don't know? I just have some people, I just came back from helping in Greece, people who we call each other brothers, you know, brotherly love across the globe. I didn't know that. I introduced someone who introduced someone who introduced someone, and about 30 people down the track, through a lady by the name of Irene Trivaloutis, these guys joined and now building a massive business in Greece. Now, that can happen for you too. So this is the cool part. You receive an extra 3% for another 6 levels from anybody. So if customers get involved, if members get involved, you're getting paid all of that for a total of 7 levels deep, which is great. That's just the weekly commission. So you can earn really fast commissions. Then we get into the monthly ones. The first one is a roadmap, or an airline airstrip to get the plane off the ground. It's not a permanent focus, but it's your first focus. And that is, we don't want you to go out and, you know, introduce thousands of people. If you just go out and find 3 people who become members and they each purchase maybe $100 of product like you would, which is only 2 of the 5 products in the range, then you'll earn an extra $50 on top of all the other bonuses I'm going to show you. So that's your roadmap. Okay. When you help those people to find 3, we'll pay you $250 instead of the $50. And there's a rank that goes with that. So refer to the full compensation plan. Then the third one is $1,500, where you have 3 people who've helped 3. And once you've got that structure in place and you qualify at the rank, we will give you $1,500 US per month. Now, once you've done that, if you wanted to build a second one, you could as well. But this is just the basic focus to get the plane off the ground. Then we move into things like the leadership bonus pool. Once you've hit the 2-star rank, we'll pay you a percentage of global sales to share amongst all of the 2 stars. Then we have a pool with another percent for the 3 stars and 1% for the diamonds, double diamonds, and triple diamonds and crowns. This can really add up. And I love it because it's a global profit sharing bonus, which means that you might be in a different country, have nothing to do with the explosive growth going on in, say, Poland or Greece or, you know, who knows where else in the world, but you're still sharing with that profit. Finally, a lot of companies have a uni level. So this is just a basic part of our compensation plan as well. So you can earn initially up to 7 levels deep, but immediately for 3 levels. So you can see there, once you are a new member, in that little tree, you may not be able to see it, but once you have a total team turnover of about 1,500, that unlocks level 4. and then level 5 at 5,000, and then level 6 when it doubles, and eventually get into what we call leadership ranks. So why are they leadership ranks and why are the other ones not? Well, the ones at the bottom haven't duplicated anyone yet. The ones at the top have learned how to duplicate a 1-star. So I can tell you how simple this program is. As a crown in the company, which you can see on the right-hand side there, that says you need 6 1-star legs. So how simple is this program? Real simple. Do the power of 3, teach the power of 3 to hit 1-star, become a 1-star, and teach people how to become 1-stars. That's it, all the way to crown. That's how this simple program works. Now, more recently, we realized we could add even more money, so we added some extra ranks: double crown, triple crown, and president. Just have a look at just the infinity bonus on that. It is phenomenal. So in terms of infinity bonuses, this is the last one. When you reach diamond, in addition to everything else we've shown you, from level 8 to infinity, you can earn up to $2,500 with a 1.5% cap of 2,500. When you get to double diamond, we double it. You go all the way around, all the way to a president, where you can see $100,000 is the monthly, let that compute, the monthly bonus for just the infinity bonus on top of everything else. So there is pretty much an uncapped potential that you could tap into if you wish. So how do you make this work? Well, they say the secret to business is creating systems so that absolutely anyone could do it. And I don't like to align us with a thing like a McDonald's, but you know, they have a really good system, don't they? And even a 15-year-old can turn the chip machine off. So here we've systemized our business. We have resources, technology, and weekly support. So in resources, we have training videos on the Neumi 1, 2, 3 process. Everyone's doing that internationally in every language around the world now. And that's why we've gone so big so fast. Business planning tools, access to marketing assets. We also have technology. Most companies charge you for the technology in addition to your membership fee. We do no membership fees, and we give you a free app to use, free company Facebook groups, etc. And then this Neumi.tv you're on right now, that's where we do ongoing events all week long that you can tap everybody into as well. So if you're looking at this today, I'm sure you fall into one of 3 categories. Maybe it's 1, I want to get started. Fantastic. Tell the person, send them a quick text now, get me started quick. 2, want to try the product? Fantastic. Reach out to the person who invited you and organize that. Or 3, you want more information. There's no right or wrong answer. And if it's not even for you, that's totally fine. But we got to say, if you are looking at starting a home-based business and you're looking for a product, we have that holy trinity no one else has. 1, the product does things no one else can do. So check out the products. 2, the compensation plan pays way more than everybody else out there does. But 3, we've systemized the approach that absolutely anyone could be building this business if you just follow the basics. So it's been a pleasure presenting for you today. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow when we interview a world champion gold medalist about our product, and you'll be surprised at her age.